feel about me now. I'm the gap between the beer and the actual. So I have a good news. I have only 4 slides, but a bad one is that I have a quite long video as well. So just quickly go through what is JChem for Office. Every one of you know, but anyway, we have JChem for Excel where we can render structures inside the cell, calculate properties, analyze stuff. You will see a few moments, in a few moments in the workflow, how this works. We can copy-paste structures in the structures to PowerPoint presentations, even in table form like SAR table. You can directly import from a database, for example, into Outlook and send structures. You can edit those structures. So basically, JChem for Office is about to enable chemistry in Microsoft Office. And today I don't want to list the new features and things like that. I just created a video which walks through a fake, but for me a kind of typical workflow that imagined workflow. So let's jump. So I received this list of IDs from the biologists. This is ready. You can go with your data. So I just copy paste from the email, and then I jump on the import by ID. Now I show that this is actually an import through a web service from my JChem Oracle cartridge. So this is something that we made available. So you can import through a web service, and I just select the data I need and import it. So it creates immediately the structures, as you can see. And I can now toggle between the structures and the IDs if I want, so I can get back the IDs anytime and copy paste only the IDs, or I can convert them back to structures. So the data is here. I want to sort it to have the best activities at the top, and then when I have it, I just create an SCR table. I want to analyze these FABH activities. So I go to a prepared report where I have the scaffold. So I just simply Control-C, Control-V to my SCR R group decomposition. I click that I want immediately generate the SCR table, and first I go with the R1, R2 combination. And this now shows me that there are not too many derivatives in respect of R2, so I just choose that, okay, ethyl is probably the way I go along because this has the most data. And do again, in the other angle, R1 against R3. And now I will end up with an SCR table, but I select a different attachment symbol. This is important for the further steps. I don't want to detail why, I just wanted to show the options. Now I have this data table. It's automatically selected after the creation, so I can immediately use the conditional formatting to color my table. Everything is on the top left, the best compounds. You can scroll down and left, right, quickly in this kind of table. So I start creating the report. This is the first step. This is the data. I just selected the best compound. Control-C from Excel, Control-V to PowerPoint. It's landed immediately. I have different settings in my PowerPoint presentation for the scale of the structure, maybe even the display settings. I just click the display and scale button, and it applies my settings. So the next slide, I want to place the SCR table. So I select the relevant area, the best activities in this video, and using the ribbon now, because the table copy and paste is a little bit more difficult, so you have to use the ribbon for that. And now it creates the SCR table in my PowerPoint presentation. And I see that there are empty cells. Okay, so I want to see the structures of these empty cells. I want to ask my chemist to please prepare those structures for me. So I have a reaction scheme. I just copy paste this to Excel, and then since there are functions in JChem for Excel, I can create a reaction enumeration inside the cell. So you can see I choose the React product structure function and then fix the references to the reaction and the second row and the B column, and then I can get the product structures. Actually, this is not always straightforward, so I'm really seriously thinking of finally adding the Marcus enumeration to JChem for Excel. Honestly, that would be much easier, but this is just shows the ability that it can be done. So you can see, because it is Excel, I can simply copy-paste everything to a different cell, and it's automatically enumerating based on the reaction and the reactant. We are almost finished, just. So then now I'm ready with this. I copy-paste the new structure, a little bit making it bigger to be able to see in my email that I'm going to send to the chemist, that these are the structures I need, so please synthesize these structures to me. So I just select, then again use the ribbon copy, and then go to my email and paste it in, and done. So the next cycle can start. Yeah, I also show that these are really editable structures, so these are not images. So for example, in this case, I can change the scaffold that actually for these compounds I used only the ethyl. There's no any combination I'm asking for from the chemist. So as you can see, I can do that. Okay, so that's it. A very quick last slide about roadmap, just what we are going to do. Basically, we are hardly working on the support of Windows 10 and Office 2016 64-bit drawing in JChem for Excel. We are almost ready. Actually, with the drawing part, we are ready. We need a little few more steps. ChemDraw 15 support. I think even the next version will probably be supported. And in the second half of the year, we will have a vision to be able to convert a document according to a journal style. This will come in incremental step sizing. So first implementing the journal style to apply on a single structure, then multiple structure, and maybe at the end even do this from an API. So you have a Word document and all your structures will be converted to different other objects according to a journal style. And finally, the SAR table, as I mentioned, needs more improvement. I'm really a fan of that, if you have time. And we already received a few ideas, for example, from Jenny, how to do that. And then we will consider those and do in the last part of the year. So thank you for your attention. And this is the team. As you can see, a quite strong football team, kind of. So the developers and the our tester and me. Thank you for your attention.
Very interesting, specifically for the SAR table. If you have one position on your molecule with an up and down and different air group on the same atom, does it take into account the stereochemistry correctly?
If that is on the Marcus structure, yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's
okay.
It can.
And the other question concerns the JChem for Excel. If you have a lot of number of rows and columns into your table, when I say a lot of rows, it's 10,000, for example, with the open structure, and you do a sort on a specific column. Is it rapid, or does it take a lot of time to redraw everything?
It draws only the visible one. It's
Only
fast.
which is visible.
So, but there's a function behind which is. So this is the trick. We render the structure inside the cell. So when you sort, it just there is a function, and then this turns to be a rendering on the fly.
Okay.
So it as fast as the sorting of Excel, and then a little more time for the visual part of your spreadsheet.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.